Hi, and welcome to another inspiring artist worth studying. Today we're going to be talking about Alessandro Barbucci. Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 25 years now, and I'm here to empower you. So today, Alessandro Barbucci, he's a European artist. I actually became aware of him during when I used to go to Comic-Con and went to the Bud Plant booth, and I saw one of his comics, and I'll talk about that comic in a second. But I instantly loved the artwork, and his work is, in a way, kind of inspired by. It's kind of got like a Freddie Moore-esque animation looking style, but then it's also, because he's European, it's very well drafted. It's very academically sound, and it's got a beautiful kind of look and design. So let's take a look at his work. Now here we have this is one of the more recent works that he's doing, and I mean he's constantly producing art, and he's constantly producing new comics. But as you can tell, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about how it's kind of in the vein of a Western animation. It's very kind of Freddie Moore. There is some of that animation foundation kind to it, while at the exact same time we've got all this beautiful draftsmanship and anatomy and construction and solidity to this amazing kind of cartoony style. So it's anatomically sound, but look at the way the drapery works. Look at the way that the anatomy is working. Look at this character's anatomy and his drapery. So there's like a mix between almost an animation, a Western animation, Freddie Moore, and by Freddie Moore I mean Freddie Moore is the house style of Disney and some of the Warner's stuff. So this is that's the foundation. That's the Freddie Moore foundation. And this look is kind of like, it bounces off that in a lot of ways, while incorporating this rich European comic tradition of well drafted, solid drawing. So even all this stuff, all this detail, all the construction, everything, all of this stuff is really solid and working. But it's a really beautiful, beautiful style. Here we have another drawing. See how it's simplified. Everything here is simplified. It's very graphic. We've got this shape here. We have these beautiful shapes and rhythms here. This lyrical shape here. We have a C curve here, pops out into this other C curves in here. Really beautiful, beautiful stuff. And yet look at this dragon. Look how much solidity there is. The anatomy is all there, and we're going to be taking a closer look at some of his faces and stuff, but it's amazing, really solid stuff. Look at this background, is just amazing. The trees, the composition, the way that this is one giant mass, and then we've got this here pointing to this background here, but this is one big mass shape. So he's so good. Another cartoony looking drawing, but look how solid her eyes are in her socket. Look how solid her nose is, and the underplane here that we've got, while still keeping it extremely simple and cartoony. It actually has the deceptive thing about a drawing like this is that the color tends to make everything more solid and more round, And it almost covers up the fact that it's extremely simple line drawing here. It doesn't take much. This, you could see it wrap around. This wraps around. See here we have the shoulder muscle coming in and across. We have, you could see the bone sticking out here. So there is anatomy here. There is actually solid. Look at this hand's insanely good. Look how beautiful this finger is. Look at the way that her fingers are flat on the top, round on the bottom, flat on the top, rounds on the bottom. Really solid design. Her hair has really beautiful lyrical solid design. They're all coming in and around. All the details of her hair are showing you how the ribbon of the hair, these hair strands are ribbons, and it shows you the solidity and the direction of these ribbons, right? Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. This is not digitally colored. It looks like it's watercolored, it's hand colored. He does a lot of watercolored coloring. And as you know, that I personally like to color my my stuff using watercolor more than anything else. This is not this is the way that he colors his work is a little bit different than I do. I don't simplify it as much. This is almost as if he's using marker. He's using watercolors here in a way that I would probably use marker, and it's possible that this is actually marker. Watercolor and marker are often they almost have the same look. The only reason I say that this might be watercolor is because of how soft these colors are. Usually markers tend to be much brighter, but I may be wrong. This might be watercolor. I mean, this might be marker. But again, it's solid, it's beautiful, and cartoony at the same time. Look at the way, look at this, the drapery here. It's loose drapery. It's pinching here, coming out and ballooning. This is wrapping around. It's a loose jacket, and all the details reinforce the direction of this arm. And that's what you want when you're drawing something. You want any kind of detail to reinforce the direction of the form that it's covering, right? Everything that you do when you're doing any kind of detail, even when putting detail here like this, see, notice how there's a lot of details here, lots and lots of little details, right? And people are like, look at the detail, oh, it's so beautiful. But it's not enough to just put details for detail's sake. The details here are reinforcing the direction of every single part of this, all of these forms. Look at the way that all the details here, they're all reinforcing the direction that this neck is going. And so when you put any kind of detail at all on anything that you do, whenever you're drawing anything, what you want to do is make sure that the details reinforce form, direction, solidity. That's what you want. You want that. That is the key to detail. Detail for detail's sake is just busyness, and it just distracts. But if you put the details and they're saying something, by enforcing and making sure that the audience understands what they're seeing, that is detail worth putting in. So this is part of a larger piece of work, which is like this kind of like sheet of paper where you have all these sketches on it. And this is I specifically picked this because I wanted to take a really quick look at all these little doodles, and so you can see that he's got this. There's the way that he draws has a very it feels like something that would be drawn in an animation studio. You can, it feels these are the kinds of drawings that you tend to see in an animation studio where it's kind of sketchy, it's kind of loose, but you could see all the secrets, the foundational um, principles that make up the drawing. And in animation, we tend not to like cleaning things up and making things too tight. At least in hand drawn animation, the tradition was, when there was feature hand drawn animation, that the cleanup process, the final line process, the process that gave all the characters that clean line at the end that you see when you actually see the final product, that was the position that was the entry level position. That means that it required the least amount of skill to be able to finish a drawing, put the final line on a drawing. That was an entry level position. It was the lowest tier of the animation production when it came to hand-drawn animation. When it came to the hand-drawn in the animation hierarchy, is what I mean to say. That was the entry-level position, and then you went to so you went from cleanup artist to a little bit more of a key cleanup artist, like a supervisor. Then you went to breakdown artist. Then you went down to assistant animator, and then you went to animator, and then you had the head animator. And so the further up the ladder you went, the rougher and your work became. Because you were now became more the idea man, the person who came up with the acting, and this is about as tight as you would want to get when you're doing animation. There were some artists who were rougher than this, some artists who were tighter than this, but this is about the average look right here. Like this is the average look of an animation drawing from an actual animator doing the key animation. And so when we look at this, when I look at this, this is kind of like you could see the secrets, you could see the thinking process, you could see that here's the eye line coming across, here's the front line here. He drew this nose by drawing a circle first, and then he's wrapping the face with the facial rhythms here. This is actually an anatomical. These are actual muscles here that he's actually drawing in here. This is full knowledge and understanding of anatomy. In spite of the fact that this is very cartoony, look at this. Look at this. You can see the eye socket. This is the eye socket right here. This line right here. Also notice that the eye socket line work comes and wraps around, and it comes up into the eyebrows, and then it comes back down. That's a bit of an animation trick, like a Disney trick that they used to have these rhythms that wrapped around here, and you kind of had like a face mask that you moved around and in order to make the expressions work a little bit more. But at the same time, all this anatomy still working. Here's that round shape here again, that rhythm right here again. This shape here is actually the shape of the jaw, the jaw, the mouth, the teeth, the muzzle of the skull here. There's a circle here. It's really great when you're able to look at these sketches like this. You get to see the thinking process. We tend to, especially in the illustration tradition, the final is the most important. The final look is the most important. How you want to hide the secrets. You want to hide how it was done. You want the final to be perfect and beautiful and not rough at all, and there's nothing vague about it, and you want to clean up all the extra noodly lines, right? In the animation tradition, we didn't want to do that. We wanted to show we wanted to see the lines, and you wanted to see the eye lines and the cross line and all that stuff. And part of the reason why we were like kind of obsessed with roughness and gesture and that sort of thing was because you got to see the artist's mind at work when you saw these roughs. And so here we have this, we could see that he drew the head through. We could see that he has a ball shape here. You could see that there's an eye line here. You could see there's some of that rough front lines here. He's working out these eyes. Here we have the breasts, and he drew a full circle here, and there's a line here that kind of almost wraps around and comes across here. You could see that the legs, he drew through the legs here. This leg here. Then we have the hanging, the wrinkle, coming down and across here. There's like some very light subtle lines here, and then there's some shading here. And I love this little doodle over here. This looks like he just kind of started drawing shapes, which is really cool. Here we have this, like, I think it looks like it's just a study of a helmet. We got a great gesture right here of this woman. Beautiful, beautiful work. And this continues. I think this is it goes through and across, and this is I don't know where this part of the sheet of paper is. We'll look at it in the big when we see the full page here. But we got these doodles over here just playing around. This is not as rough as I'd probably like it, but you can see that there's a rhythm right here that he's putting in to try to connect all these features together. But this is much, much tighter. I think this is a little bit less worked on and a little bit more direct. Sometimes you can pull off a very direct drawing without much construction. See here we have this kind of rhythm coming through and across. It's beautiful, beautiful, great, cool designs here. See how this guy's got like this side of the nose over here. That's probably something that you would probably leave out later. Like, see right here, he left it out. But he added it in here when he was doing this. We've got these rhythms coming in. Very rough stuff. Here's more roughs so that you can see how all this stuff is working. He's drawing. You could see these crosses, these lines going right through her face. And that is from these weapons that are kind of coming out from behind her. Just to try to make sure that they line up, right? We've got this really awesome arms just sketched through. We got these roughs here coming through here. Look at this nose coming in and wrapping around, and really quick, rough, really sketchy stuff. Coming down here, you can see that he's put in the ribs. This is all really rough. I love this, that he's just like a really quick, kind of a graphic shape for the knee. We've got these really rough, gestural, like chibi characters. Lots of attitude in here too, but it's all kind of scribbly and rough, and this is mostly an exercise in graphic shape and design. But all of this just feels so dynamic and full of energy, and it's all kind of coming off of this kind of center where everything is being pulled out of this thing. It's really cool. So here we have this. It's a bigger version of that sketch. Like before, we just had this kind of piece. So this is where it was coming from. We have this really great gesture drawing, but at the same time, it's fairly tight. Not a lot of the secrets in here. There's a lot of There's a lot of finished looking artwork here. Very direct looking artwork. Let's see if we could find something a little bit rougher. This is really cute. So take a look at this, and this is something that I'm going to talk about because he does this a lot. So these I've spoken about some anime eyes, specifically from the Alita Battle Angel art, where they have big eyes and they're very anatomical, very sound. Well, that doesn't in a Disney-esque, in a Western animation style look. That also is important. And this drawing here, you can see that we have this top plane of the eyelashes coming in here. We have the ball of the eye right here going into the socket. We have the tear duct here. We have the thickness of the eye coming through here, and then we have like the other side of the thickness of the eye. So we have this is the top plane of that eye, just like in the Alita Battle Angel eyes that we were studying a few videos back. Exactly the same thing here with the ball of the eye. So having a really solid understanding of the human eye and the way that it fits in a socket is extremely important. Even when you're doing something that looks this cartoony, right? And the purpose is for that reason, so that it's more convincing, so that it feels solid, so that you have a much better drawing than just like a sticker for an eye. Again, same thing here with this character. Very, very solid looking eyes. Let's keep moving. There's something really great about just looking at rough gestural sketches and rough ideas and things like that. And he's just so good at when you see some of his quick sketches and things like that. He doesn't really sometimes he constructs more than other times. Sometimes he goes straight in. The going in straight in is something that comes from a lot of experience after doing it so long. This is a much tighter drawing. It's beautiful cartoony drawing. And again, look how beautiful that hand is. It's like you would have to put yourself in that kind of hand position, and it's just amazing. Here's these rough drawings. This is so inspiring to see how solid this is. And look at these eyes. Here's the ball of the eye, and here's the thickness of the eye, the other side of the eye. It's right in there. Like he doesn't. He's not skipping around. He's not skipping any of that stuff. Look, like he has the tear duct in here. Even the nose, we have this plane here, this front plane here. Boom! Like it's the light is shining on it. Pow! Like he's actually highlighted this upper plane. Bam! He just knocks it in there, and then we've got the rest of this solid, very solid looking nose, while still having this really loose, beautiful pencil line art. It's one of the reasons why I like Barbucci's work so much, is because he's so when you see the final artwork is great. It's really beautiful and convincing, and when it's final and in color, it's fantastic, and it's got a lot of energy and a lot of life. But the thing that I like even more is seeing his roughs and his ideas and his pencil drawings. There's something about how good it looks that is kind of lost in a drawing like this, where it is beautiful, and yet this seems to have more life than this. This is like much more of a finished piece, and this isn't. It's not that it's bad, and in fact, I'm not even sure. Is this pencil or ink? I can't tell. He has this really beautiful kind of, look at this the way the thick and thins work here. And I think this is pencil. Like all of this is pencil. So there, when he does a final pencil line, which I believe this is, I think this is a pencil line, and maybe there's some, man, it's really tricky to I can't really tell if it's pen or pencil. And part of the reason why I'm having a difficult time deciding whether it's pen or pencil is because of the way that his thicks and thins are, and how dark these lines are. Usually, when in an ink drawing, this is how dark they are. But now you can scan them and darken up pencil lines. So this could be this could be pencil, or it could be ink, or it could be digital ink. This absolutely looks like ink, so I'm going to guess that this is a final ink drawing. But and it's loose and free and clean, and amazing. Look how well composed this shot is. How these characters are in the midground. How these characters are in the foreground, kind of framing this. Right, like these characters coming in here, walking through. Like our eyes are supposed to all point to these characters. This is the center of interest, and all of these things here are pointing to them. And then even this, which is supposed to be a lot of detail back here, let's simplify it so that it frames these characters here. Again, our eyes immediately go over here, and everything here is pointing straight to them. This is pointing over here, like the direction that this is going is pointing to them. The black right here is there to accent him, right? His boots are there to accent him. All of these things, her black hair is there to accent her, right? So everything is all he's really good at composing as well. More roughs. So yeah, look at the energy and that we've got here, and then we have like the rough line, eye line, construction line here that we can see, and all these little rough, little doodly things that make up for this crazy hand. Really amazing, beautiful work. Another pencil drawing, really loose, really rough, really pretty, and you can see here, you could see the light rough here, and then the final line, just playing with the direction of the hair here. This is the kind of thing that is really fun to look at. Okay, so I got this. I brought this in when I downloaded this one just to show you a close-up of this eye. Tear duct, eyeball, thickness of the eyelid, the eyelashes on top of that, the eyelashes on top of this, thickness of the eyelid, shadow of the eyelid. Here's the bottom of the eyelid, but here's the fold of the eyelid going into the eye socket. So and then here we have the circle for the front of the nose, and then we've got the bottom plane where he goes when he breaks up this bottom plane of the nose, and then we've got the shadow here, the philtrum right here. So the lines for the bottom plane of the nose. See, so and yet it's a cartoony face, right? That's the trick. The trick is to understand the eye and the anatomy so well, and the facial anatomy so well, that when you do a cartoony drawing, it's convincing. Here, this is an example of his more cartoony stuff. Even more cartoony, he pushes it. Like, I love these legs. Look how great the design for these legs are. The expressions, the gesture, the character, the acting, the emotion that you could get from these quick little gestural doodles. All of them being rough, but they're so full of energy and life. and dynamic and very, very dynamic. And look at this expression. It's very, very cute. And you don't need, and this kind of just shows you that you don't need everything to be super clean and tight. You could just get that much just out of like these really quick gestures. This is again a little bit tighter drawing, but again, just to show you the solidity of the eye, how anatomically sound it is, how convincing it is. You get all this anatomy in here that is extremely convincing. The planes of the nose here, the front of the nose, the planes, exactly like the other one. This is the kind of thing that you want to look at. Even you could even see like the plane of the neck muscle here, where it pops up, not getting hit by light. I mean, getting hit by light here, not getting hit, not getting covered up by the shadow. Very, very well done. Here we have in the bottom here we have like this bottom plane of the lips. If you look at the lips, they come out and then they go in here underneath, right before the chin comes back out. And that's what this is right here, and then it pops back out and it comes out this way. Really good stuff. Very solid work. Beautiful artwork. This is just to show you how clean he can get and how beautiful the artwork is and how well designed this is. The proportions are really great. Look at these lips, really thick up here. She's turning her head, so what you kind of want to do is when you're drawing something like when somebody's looking up, the corner of the lips go down further down here than the top of the lip. The tip of the lip right here is higher up than these ends of the mouth. That's how you can show where a person is looking up and down. So when you're looking up, these edges go further down. When you're looking down, these go up higher. So the front of the lip is down further, and the top and the edges of the lips are up here above them. And so this is one of the reasons why it's so convincing, even without having to draw this under the chin thing. It's just kind of leaving the chin, that it just have it go all the way down and never actually show that bit. You could get away with it because of this sort of thing, with the lips looking under the nose. And then another important thing is to have the ears go down further down, right? You don't want the ears to stay up like this. As you look up, you move the ears down so that it reinforces that we're looking up at somebody. Quick sketch here. I don't know what's going on here. Is she holding him, or is she coming? He's just kind of stuck on her dress. I don't know what that's going on there, but really, see here, you could see the line, the eye line here. Some rough drawings, some roughs here. Beautiful, beautiful work. I just love looking at his roughs. That's like my favorite, and I'm going to talk about that in a second when I show you some of the books that I've got. Another beautiful drawing, well composed, beautiful design. Like this, if you squint, then you get to see what the design shape is, and then there's kind of like a drawing inside here. And then we've got like these details. Everything is all the roughs, all the details here, all reinforce solidity, drapery. It's fantastic. I've got a colored piece here. It looks like it's digitally colored. Beautiful design, beautiful attitude, a lot of personality, just by the way that she's standing. Again, solid drawing all around. Really pretty, really cute. Like I said, his designs are just so nice. And look at this hand. That's amazing. What a great hand. Look at this. Just what I don't even. It's so good. Like it's got so much personality. You always know that somebody's a great draftsman by the way that they draw their hands. If you see somebody who's drawing really lousy hands or is hiding his hands in his drawings, that's how you know that they don't know how to do. They're not very good. But when you see somebody like just brilliantly using hands to reinforce a drawing, that's how you know that somebody's really a solid draftsman. And then we've got this kind of perspective going through here, the detail of the perspective, and that's it. That's the artwork that I've got here. So Alessandro Barbucci. Okay, so here's some of the books that really made me become aware of how good of his work to begin with. So here we have the Sky Doll books. So the Sky Doll books were the very first ones. These are the things that I ended up picking at San Diego Comic-Con years and years and years ago. I'm going to try to link to all these books in the description of this video so that you can check them out. Hopefully you could still get them. So Sky Doll is the story of a robot girl, but the artwork in it is absolutely phenomenal. It's just beautiful, beautiful work. Let me see if I can just show you really quick some of that work here. The cover looks like that. And there's quite a few of them. There's this one here too. And then there's this one here too. I mean, all of them. It's just, this is some of the most beautiful work you can pick up. It's just inspiring. If you like this kind of artwork that he does, it's just amazing. And then there's this, which is a pencil version of the first Sky Doll comic, and it's all in pencil. And talk about showing you the secrets. It's just the final line work. Oh, and of course there's this really rough kind of comic at the front, which is just amazing. And then we've got like this like production art. Look at those faces. They're just amazing. And these character designs, these roughs. If I could find this is hands down one of the best Barbucci books you could pick up if you just want to study his work, see how the magic is made. This is just so good. Highly recommend it. I'm gonna see if I can find a link to a copy of this. I don't know if it's out of print or anything. It's been a long time since I got it, but it's absolutely worth having. So I became kind of obsessed looking for more Barbucci work when I first found out about his work, and now there's plenty. But here's another one that I picked up, and the reason I picked this one up is because it's so different than the Sky Doll book, and it's much more cartoony, and but the cartooniness is cute. Let me see if I can find a good example. It is very, very cute, while still having a lot of personality. it has a very anime feel to it, and it's so there. It's kind of like the Euro anime. There's a lot of like European anime crossover art. If you look close enough, there are some Europeans that are so obviously influenced by anime art, and this comic tends to be one of those, while still being very European. So I picked up these Monster Allergy books. This last one, they changed the artist midway through or at the end. No, this is a completely different artist. I didn't realize that when I got it. But, and I think this one too. Yeah, they changed the artist on this one. So this is the only one that Barbucci did. I ordered all three. I think I ordered them from online. So I wasn't paying attention when I ordered all of them. But this is the one that Barbucci worked on, which is the good one, the one that I like the most. The other ones are by a different artist, and it's just not quite the same. Okay, so that was Alessandro Barbucci's work. Fantastic artist, especially if you like kind of the cartoony Western looking work that kind of steps it up and pushes it to the next level. So that's it. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. You're excited. I just introduced you to somebody else worth looking at and studying from. And yeah, I hope you like this video, and I will talk to you next time. All right.